Okay. Now you can see me. Now you see me, now you don't. I'm going to start with the meditation deck today. Okay. I had to rinse like a million little hairs off my back because I went and got my hair trimmed, and the outfit I wore, instead of it going onto my shirt, it went to my skin and then just stuck to my skin. You know how that goes. So but I'm like, I don't want to get this hair wet. I just got it done. So I had to pin that up. So happy Thursday to you. Hopefully it's a good one so far. Hopefully your email is not too gnarly, as I was checking my email. So cherish those moments where you're not worried about email. Maybe you're on vacation this week. I don't know. Oh, look at that. Flipped over. I don't have my little, if you can't tell, I don't have my little doodah stand out here, so. Oh my goodness. This eye's been itching since yesterday. I think it's because when I was doing yard work, there was some poison ivy in that area, and I think some of it got on my, even though I was wearing gloves and stuff, but sometimes you have to take your gloves off. Anyway, love. Okay. Heart chakra activation for somebody. Maybe. I did a love reading the other day, so if that's what you're looking for, please go and check that out. It's under the live tab. Also, if you are in the chat today, please do like the video. Consider subscribing, but remember, you do not have to be a subscriber in order to like the video. So I'll never know. You could like the video and I'll never know who you are. It's not like Facebook. It's not like Facebook. They didn't like my video. They didn't, you know what I mean? None of that. We're not doing that over here. Okay. That's why there's a lot of people I got rid of on Facebook, so I'm like, I'm not playing favorites with nobody. I'm just not doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm out here on YouTube. I put out these messages, and if you want to hear it, fine. If you don't, don't. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to win over anybody's approval with that. That ended a long time ago. So maybe give yourself some grace, okay? Especially if you have been working hard. Appreciate what you've already given. Appreciate where you've already been. Everybody wants to say, oh, you just don't know this. Well, you don't know what I know. And if you'd sit down and watch a friggin' video instead of running your goddamn mouth, maybe you'd learn something. Right? That's what people who are, intelligent, people who, progress in life, they understand that they are not necessarily the smartest person in the room. They understand that reading and learning new things is good. Doesn't mean you have to apply everything you read. Right? Just because you went to such and such movie last week doesn't mean you're gonna, some people might, but not everyone's like, I'm gonna completely change my life and live it like they did in this movie. Like, really? Like, Like, you might need more than a tarot reading if that's your attitude. Nature. Maybe it involves getting out in nature. Maybe saw a movie about nature. Mutual of Omaha. You guys remember that? Wild Kingdom. Wild Kingdom. We're out in the Wild Kingdom. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I got my Dead Ahead sippy cup. Unfortunately, this does not fit in my smaller vehicle that I have. It fits in the Jeep. The Jeep has one oversized thing for this, but like a regular standard size cup, no. So I don't know. I might have to buy one of those extender things because I had to hold it in between my legs the whole time I was driving. And then, of course, one of the last places I was at, I forgot where it was sitting and it almost spilled all over the place. You know what I mean? So that would be annoying. We're not here to be annoyed. Maybe we are, but in a good way. You know what I mean? Like the buzzing bee. People be like, oh, you're just a busybody. Well, my body is busy. I'm going here and doing this and doing that. I mow my own grass. I do my own yard work. Although there was a neighborhood kid that came and helped me for a couple days. He got some work done on them bushes in the front. So let me tell you, it's a job keeping up with, you know, everything. Especially if you are a homeowner, like I am. Even the first house I bought before this one, you know, which I sold that one. I didn't want to be a landlord. You know, I had grass to mow, a couple bushes to trim down. It takes time. And people think they're going to be busy doing this, that, and the other. And it's like, well, maybe if you would just attend to your business, things will work out for you. You know, sometimes the message is very simple, right? Dogs are being very quiet right now, which is nice. Alright, I got my Spooky Wookie deck out here. Spooky Wookie season, did you know that? Did you know? Although they skipped our town, the festival got canceled. I know. 3 of Cups. So if you see some stragglers around, you're like, where did they come from? Just remember, it's festival season, right? People coming out of the woodwork. Spooky Wookies. Okay. So 3 of Cups, you might be partying. Queen of Swords. Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. You know, Queen of Swords gets a bad rap, but the Queen of Swords is also very intuitive, so it's one of those things where, what was that song by Depeche Mode? Words are very unnecessary, you know. You know, sometimes it's people that just go like this and you're just like, and then they'll be like, oh, they don't know what I'm talking about. It's like, yeah, I know just perfectly, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut right now because I'm just going to let you embarrass yourself, son. Whatever. Like, I ain't your mama. You know, especially if you are not this person's mother. Don't. Show yourself the love and appreciation of realizing that is somebody else's problem. And don't make it yours. This reminds me, one day I was on, I don't think I even have, it's somebody in the neighborhood, it's on my Facebook, and I don't know, we're talking about something, and some guy made some smart alecky comment, like, hey, you know, and he thought I was gonna get on there and ban her and waste my frickin' time. And I thought, you know what? I think I did. Out of politeness, I just said, look it up. You know what I mean? Look, if you're confused about it, look it up. Like, I'm not gonna explain it to you. I'm gonna put what I said, but I'm not gonna go into details because it's just a waste of time, and they want to waste your time. right? Whereas the Queen of Swords can sit there and look at that and say, hmm. And she can think to herself quietly and say, I'm not going to waste my time with this today, right? And get up and move on. There it goes. Heard some knocking in the background. I don't think it's a woodpecker either. I did buy some lottery tickets, you guys. Wish me luck. Got some quick picks when I was getting my lunch after my hair appointment. 6 of Wands. I was really hoping to try this other place because I heard they had a decent salad bar, but when I walked in there, I didn't even see any salad bar set up. So I'm like, well, maybe not today. I don't know. Maybe the salad truck didn't come. But, you know, on second thought, I don't really, you guys should see the amount of lettuce I have in my garden. It's crazy. Maybe I'll show you guys at the end of the video. I don't really need to be paying anybody for lettuce right now, you know what I mean? Let's see here. So the 6 of Wands, so as you give yourself grace, accept grace throughout your life, you're going to understand the 6 of Wands and how you are actually celebrated, okay, in the, you know, non-man-made, right, you know, more in the eyes of God type thing, right, versus, oh, well, so-and-so said you didn't have what it takes. Well, I don't give a fuck what so-and-so said. And what has so-and-so done lately? You know what I mean? There was this one gal I knew that I saw her at a couple shows, so I thought, oh, maybe fun, you know, show buddy or something. No, she started going out with this guy, and then, you know, I was like, you know, whatever. And then she wanted to criticize me and be like, well, he's doing this. What are you doing? And I'm like, and I said, and I'm like, well, what is he doing right now? Because he ain't doing shit right now. So don't sit here and criticize me and you don't even know what I got going on, lady. It's like, don't compare me to somebody who got approval from so-and-so that I don't give a fuck about. You know what I mean? He ain't the principal of my high school. Rocknville High School. And that's what it is. Some of these people, they act like high schoolers. You know, oh, they said this. It's just a big tattletale session, and it is so boring. So, you know, sometimes it might feel difficult to celebrate yourself because you got all this other stuff going around. People comparing you to this, people comparing you to that. I remember I went to a concert with my folks, you know, and, you know, my dad had something to say, he's such and such. I don't give a fuck that he's such and such. Good for him. I ain't trying to be him, bro. First off, I ain't got the right body parts to be him, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna get in a line to compete where the comparison is not the same anyway. So, you know, that's why they say stay in your own lane. If you need a sports analogy, stay in your own lane. Two of Swords. Ghostly creatures. Okay. Is this what you're going to see in the woods? You're going to see a ghost in the woods? Is that it? Is somebody going to see an apparition? Is somebody going to see a goddamn apparition in the woods? You know, and it's going to be like Ghostbusters where they ain't got no feet and you're like, what the monkey H is going on around here? Yay. King of Wands, interesting on the bottom. So that's fire energy. I had fire come out the other day. Maybe this person collective. So with this Queen of Swords, this could be somebody who allows you to kind of get fired up, or vice versa. Okay? How about that? How about that? Let's see what else we got in this doohickey of, yeah, I guess we'll do these here. Hang on, guys. I think these ones I did already the other day. Uh-oh. What's in here if these are out here? And it is the Cosmic Insight Check. Let's do both. Fire signs. Maybe. You know, and for some folks, you know, you might need to think of yourself as like an athlete. It's like, just because you did this the last time doesn't mean that the play or the time on the clock is going to be exactly reflective. Okay, there's other things going on. You know, your sleep, your diet, how many other racers are there? You know what I mean? There's just a lot of things that can impact you. You know, now if you meditate and stuff, likely you're not going to have a lot of stuff bothering you. But that doesn't mean it's not there, right? Let's not be stupid. So this Three of Cups, again, what I was mentioning about, you know, studying up. She's got a book in her hand. I feel like one of the things you might be celebrating is that you have a willingness to learn, whereas other people, no, I'm not going to learn that new program for work. No, I'm not going to do this for, you know. Anyway, you know, once you start being around people, sometimes then it's like, okay, so they won't get off their butt to do X, Y, and Z, but they will find a way when it's such and such, and you know, they know so and so is going to be there, or you know what I mean, where it's like, okay, we're just putting on a show, I guess, and they'll just keep talking and talking and talking like everybody's interested, and you'll be like, I guess I might have fell for that once too, huh? You know what I mean? Somebody in the chat said they're scared of talking to girls. You know, if you're scared of talking to girls, you know, you can practice, right? Practice in the mirror what you might say to somebody to get a conversation going, right? And I'm just telling you, sometimes the people will go like this. They might have a girl on their arm, but she ain't necessarily happy. And some people will have the person on their arm just as a trophy, as a status symbol. Like, they don't care who it is. You know what I mean? Like, as long as they fit this little mold of whatever, you know, keeping up appearances. So, I know you're nervous, but don't overanalyze it. Okay? I mean, these days, what do kids ask each other about? Like, you could be like, hey, what kind of cell phone is that? So like, are you still on your parents' plan, or you got your own? Some of these things you do want to know. Especially when people are on somebody else's oh, I'm on so-and-so cell phone. And it's like, is that because they couldn't go and get it done themselves? But I'll be damned if they didn't have that cell phone. Do you know what I mean? Intimacy. Ooh, sexual chemistry reminiscing. Okay. Literally, somebody could be trying to conjure up you again in this Three of Cups and being like, oh, remember when we had all these good times together? Especially when it came to, you know what I mean? Yeah. Do with that what you will. Ooh, they'll be back. Maybe that's what they thought of you, and then you decided not to come back. It's kind of like I was telling the gal that was doing my hair today. I was like, you know, after I left this company, and it's like, then they had all these contractors calling me constantly for like 2-3 years. It was like fucking harassment, man. You know what I mean? And I know they were just recruiting for the same goddamn thing that I was already doing there. It's like they want you to come back, but for less pay. Right? Less benefits. And still work you half to fucking death. Go fuck yourself. What do you think about that? Oh, now she speaks down. Now she's got an opinion. Yeah. Yeah, since you asked. How about it? Right? Maybe I should have told you all to go fuck yourselves the last, 10 times that I got passed over for job promotions for whatever fucking reason. I should have been on HR's ass long fucking time ago. Okay? But, some of us take the high road, right? We choose to be the bigger person. And unfortunately, what that gets you sometimes is feeling like you're a doormat. And then people think that they can. But you know what? How some folks are, it's like, once they're fed up, you better let it go, because they're not coming back. And I think, and as I was driving away and after I was, kind of talking to her about that, I thought, I think that's what they did. I think they thought I was just going to be so desperate, to come back to them and be like, oh yes, please, I need the money. No, I told her, I said, there's other ways to make a living. There's ways that make things work. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people are finding that out now with these gas prices. Oh, we couldn't make it before. Yeah, well, you're still making it, ain't you? And I don't see nobody taking to the goddamn streets with no fucking signs about the goddamn gas prices or the grocery prices yet. All I see is personality signs. People that have problem with personalities. So and you're all on, spending time on Facebook instead of, going and getting a second fucking job. Don't tell me how you're all struggling. Sorry, not sorry, right? People that want to work will find a place to work at. Ooh, commitment. Things are getting serious. You guys ever seen Napoleon Dynamite? He was like, you could say it's getting serious, right? So Queen of Swords is known as the divorcee. Maybe things have the paint has dried. Right? You may have never ever even been married, but that's just kind of how Queen of Swords is known. But that being said, that means you're available, and somebody might want to be making a commitment, and that being a love commitment. Okay? All right. It's nice and quiet out here right now. I should get my weed eater going. Tear it up. It's almost not fun if nobody calls the cops on me. Liar. Three dog night. Liar. That might be significant to me. Liar. Okay. Be careful of someone sneaky. Sneaky. Yeah. When you're sitting there meditating, right? And then you hear like some little feet go by and it's like, what was that? Is somebody trying to be sneaky? And again, it could be one of those things where somebody's trying to do that just so they can catch you in something so that they don't have to celebrate you. So that they can say, see, I told you. See, like some little fucking kid, like a little fucking child. See, I told you. You ain't fucking telling me shit. Sit down and shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Some of us are out here getting our fucking shit done. You ever chat with people and sometimes it's just like turns into a goddamn interview and it's like, you know, there's people that will gladly tell you their whole fucking life story. I don't necessarily want to. I just want to sit here and eat my food and, you know, maybe have a little chit chat, but I don't need to get into all the details. And two, it ain't none of their fucking business. No, I know, right? And why is it not their business? Because I said so. Right? Not only that, but they ain't paying no fucking bills. Their name ain't on no fucking piece of paperwork. So sit down, shut the fuck up. But they what? But they what? They've accomplished more in their fucking morning than you have all fucking week? Yeah, sit down and shut the fuck up. Liar. Yeah. It's like, okay, so you got time to tattle on everybody, so when are you actually working? Oh, wait. Right. Actually, I'm not going to be waiting because I know. Liar. Okay. And it's like, did these people actually think you were going to sit around and wait on that? Be waiting for hell to freeze over, bitches. Dumb fucking people. Sexuality. Someone is still figuring themselves out. This could be an ex of yours. Yeah, going this way or that way. Maybe they didn't want to go your way and they wanted to go the other way. They're still figuring it out. Are you, or are you just, you know, afraid to say it out loud, right? Hey, nature's a funny thing, isn't it? Earth signs, we just came out of Taurus. Used to be one of the best-selling vehicles on the road, the Ford Taurus. Also a constellation. Do you know what a constellation is? If you don't, then, you know, put down the phone to the police department complaining about your neighbor not doing nothing but paying her fucking taxes and her bills. Okay? And I mean, I kind of touched on this the other day, like some of these fake profiles and stuff, and it's like, do people actually believe some of this stuff? And it's like, and then they see you in person, it's like, would they actually believe that I was trying to scam them or that I'm trying to do this such and such? It's like, what? You actually believe that? It's like, I guess you don't know me very good, do you? You know, then you start this like, man, this is some of my family members. This is supposed to be some of my friends. Like, what? I mean, look at Michael Jackson, everything he went through, right? They were even talking about it on some sports radio. It was like some guy talking about how, you know, some of these greats of the NBA didn't even make it to the final. He said like Michael Jordan didn't make it into the finals until his 7th season in the NBA. You know, whereas he was saying like these days, you know, if somebody doesn't make it in the first, second season, it's like, oh, they're washed up. They're not really the good player that everyone said. La, 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 la. You know what I mean? The you know, this media and this hype stream. The expectations are unreasonable. Okay, so think about that when you have people trying to judge you. It's like, is this even a reasonable expectation? Right? I mean, we used to complain about that in the corporate world all the time because it's like, always do more with less. But we got money to pay the shareholders, though. Just not you guys. We're not increasing that head count. Oh, no. In fact, I need you to be up at 6 a.m. so you can take a call from this part of the fucking world. And then make sure you stay till 5 p.m. in the office just to make it look good for the big boys. And then, yeah, you don't mind being on that China call from 8 to 10 tonight, do ya? Oh, what, you have a life? Ew. Ew. Now you start to understand the mentality of some of these guys that come from the shop and they're like, I'm clocked out at 3. And it's like, there's no clock, so, you know, bozo. I don't care. This, you know. But somehow they get away with that, right? But then everybody else has to pick up the slack, right? Archangel Michael. But yeah, go ahead and call me the bad guy. Fuck you. Protection, prevented from harm, divine intervention. Exactly. Sometimes things happen for a reason. Like when I was, you know, telling that gal today that's doing my hair, it's like, but you know, maybe it was a blessing in disguise because the writing was already on the wall. You know, and they pass you over for this opportunity, and they pass you over for that opportunity, and it's like, you know what? Apparently I'm not kissing the right fucking ass today. Is what you figure out real quick. And some people might change in a way that I never did. You know? It's like, well, I just want to be here and do a good job. You know, that's my priority. It ain't so-and-so can get some fucking smoke blowing up their fucking pie hole so they can feel good about the next vacation that they come and brag about and talk our fucking ears off about, which we don't fucking care about. You know what I mean? Oh, why don't you invite me to the slideshow presentation? I'll be right on it. Wishful thinking. Yeah, wishful thinking. Second chance, deja vu, nostalgia. So this is kind of, okay. So if somebody wants a second chance with you, literally. I was just watching, you know, one of those made for TV, the Elizabeth Taylor movie. It was starring Sherilyn Fenn or Fiennes, I don't know how you say her name, from several years ago when they actually did made for TV movies. And it was actually pretty good. And it was going over her, one of the parts I fell asleep to is when her and Richard Burton first got together, right? And they even got married a second time. My love for you is unending, my dearest Elizabeth. Man, he was getting her all that freaking jewelry. Ooh, I'd have to think about it again too. I'd be like, well, I do like my diamonds and my rubies and my fancy stuff. Why not? Heck yeah. I mean, they can afford it. They're making buku bucks out the wazoo. Which it was showing footage of her married to one of her prior husbands that she had kids with. And, let me stop. What are you pestering me for? And one of her prior husbands that she had kids with, and like he was complaining about the quality of the script and I don't really want to do this. I'm an actor. I don't want to. And she's like, well, I'm contracted to make 3 pictures with such and such movie studio, and I don't like any of the scripts, but I'm doing it because we need a paycheck. What did I say the other day? Number one fight, couples fight about fucking money. You know? And this is the difference between people who like inherit their wealth and people who actually have to go out and make a living, right? Because people who inherit, oh, I'm choosing to be here to work, right? Because they're being supported by, oh, well, you know, so-and-so, they wanted to be a playwright, so, yeah, so they're living in the family apartment in Greenwich right now, and, you know, he's truly trying to make it. Yeah. No, they don't just cut them off, right? And I think that's what kind of the deal was with that husband of hers, that, you know, was like that was his attitude, this attitude of entitlement. But, you know, I would say most people that are enlightened to the realities of the world, like the Buddha himself became, right? Outside of the protection of the palace walls. Oh, there's some people who don't make it. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I don't feel sorry for that Reiner kid that went off on his fucking parents. How many fucking chances did he have to be some fucking washed up Hollywood playwright, drunk on booze and pills? Right? It's like, dude, Jordan didn't get into the finals till the 7th season. Imagine if he had just gotten traded away from the Bulls, or, you know what I mean? Like, you can imagine. People have no patience, no sense, you know, I don't know if it's the internet, no concept of time. I don't know. But, you know, older you get, sometimes you realize we're kind of living in an instant gratification society. A lot of people want you to be in that rat race. Message held for review. Sorry, I can't. Message retracted. Oh my God, look at this. This tried to flip out earlier. Don't be around this person when they flip out. This psycho, abusive, conniving, unpredictable. And look at this. This was right with the liar. Be careful if someone's sneaky. All right, just bear with me. Okay, since we was talking about Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, okay? And part of the thing was that she was supposed to go to some awards thing with one of her previous husbands, but she was sick, so she didn't get on the plane. He got on the plane to go get celebrated. He didn't make it. So I'm just saying, beware of sneak attacks here, okay? Because somebody may not like that you're not moving on, that you are moving on. So you might have to get a restraining order. You might have to re-up your restraining order. You know what I mean? Some people, they figure, oh, well, they're gone now. I don't have to worry about that anymore. But some of these people, they don't even understand that concept. They don't get it. For them, it's still a zero game. It's like they are literally in a freaking like football game or something, and they think there's still time on the clock, and they still got time to throw this pass to someone. So, look at me, I won over the collective. No, you didn't. In fact, in the reality that you're in, that football field doesn't even exist anymore. Because the collective has completely remodeled the place. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole fucking Trump ballroom on it now. Stagnant, stuck, dead end, frozen. Yeah, somebody could want you to feel frozen in some kind of choice. And again, this could be having to do with their sexuality, especially if they're wanting to put you in a third party or something. Be like, oh, well, I just want to open up the relationship and blah, blah. I don't know if you guys ever watch any of the Bourbon Bougie channel, but she talks about that a lot from the Reddits. You know, because it never works out the way that they think it's going to, right? Like, we just want to, our relationship's just stagnant. We just need to spice it up. Okay, well, I'm just going to tell you, not from personal experience, but I'm just going to tell you from reading just a couple things that it don't really work out that well. Right? You know what I'm saying? All right, now here we're really doing it. Hang on. I gotta go get this over here. Oh. Watch it. Watch it. Okay. So, again, somebody could be lying about the situation and making you feel like pressured to make some kind of decision, and I don't think you're being necessarily called to do that right now. I think what you're being called to do is, you know, maybe get in touch with nature, think it over before you do anything rash, right? Kind of like when I was talking to that gal about, you know, my job change. It was like, you know, that was time for me to start exploring other opportunities, not to do the same thing I already did. You know, and it's like when somebody makes it clear they don't want you, it's like, well, who the fuck cares at this point? Go forth and prosper in your own way, man. You know what I mean? The final frontier. Okay? Anyway. So, yeah, you know, all that hard work that you put into other people and, you know, invest that in yourself, see. Because I'm not going to say it's going to make you rich, you know, monetarily. What I am going to say is it's going to make you richer in spirit, richer in mind, in health. Okay? Having a more holistic view about yourself versus something that is a usable, consumable product. You know what I mean? You guys ever see that movie? You know the one. That one. Plastics. I mean, if you watch that scene, you can see Dustin Hoffman's soul just like crushing, right? But at the same time, oh yes, wouldn't it be nice to live in a world where we could just all do whatever we wanted all the time, right? Well, somebody's got to pay the bills. Yeah, you didn't see him getting married to Elizabeth Taylor in that movie because she'd be like, honey, you're going to have to take that plastics job for a little while. You know what I mean? Anywho. You know, some people don't have that level of flex in their mentality, okay? But you do, collective, because you're protected, all right? You know, it's not about settling. It's about not settling for the impossible standard that someone else is setting that has no idea about your life. Yeah. I mean, somebody might look at you and be like, you're on easy street. Okay, well, how did I end up getting here? Can you tell me that much? Can you tell me that much? Oh, you can't? Oh, again, sit down and shut the fuck up, right? if I had $1 for every time somebody said, how do you do it? Right? The annoying question, how do you do it? You just do. You just figure it out. Just like your ancestors did, just like their ancestors did, and so again, and so again, and so again. And I'm not going to sit here and say, well, Jesus is the answer. You know, I mean, that's fine if you're Christian. I get it. I'm Christian also. But not everybody is. Okay? But that doesn't mean you can't operate in the spirit of kindness and joy and, you know, politeness, right? Like, hello. Hello. Yeah. All right, I'm going to take the phone here, see if I can read any of these messages. Okay. All right, I am going to show you guys, though, my lettuce that I was talking about. So you can see that I could literally eat it by lettuce. Can you see this? Look at this. Isn't that crazy? And look how big my spin is here. I need to pick some of that. I've already picked some of my lettuce, but thinking of doing some smoothies. Some smoothies with the lettuce. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't really have to, have any reason to complain today because, you know, I got lettuce in my garden, so, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? There's worse places to be in the world. Anyhow. How do you do it? I just... Get on the internet and start Googling stuff. I mean, I've never met so many friggin' lazy people in my whole life. Sometimes I go through these, you know, and it's like, we're not doing this, we're not doing that. And it's like, well, you got an awful lot of time to complain about what you're not doing. Just saying. You know, I have to hold myself to that same standard too. Sometimes, you know, sometimes we get in those mentalities, right? But, you know, what do they say? Nobody's coming to save you. So start working on it. Might get somewhere. You know, I'm not saying you can't have other people help you, but like how you know what I mean? How helpless are you trying to be? What is that song? Helpless a kitten. It's a man's vocal there. Anyway. I'm gonna have to look that up now. Oh man, I can't take it. Alright. That's all I have for this afternoon. I don't know. We'll see what happens later. Judging from my emails, I have some cleanup to do there. I was already cleaning up some of my mail the other day. And, you know, there's so much, you know, identity theft and so, well, you know, look at all the mail offers from these credit cards. All somebody has to do is dig through your mail and get one of those. These days, you can make a fake ID on the internet or something. I mean, do you even have to give them your identification to open up a credit card? They're talking about wanting a voter ID to vote. How about that for opening up a goddamn credit card? Or what are these banks doing? They're like, we're going to sell you this protection plan. Well, aren't you supposed to be FDIC insured up to $100,000 per account? So why do I need to purchase extra protection? Don't you and the government have a thing going on like me and Mrs. Jones? You know what I mean? It's like they're trying to upsell people on stuff that should be included in the service. I mean, I don't know how many times you have to hear Wells Fargo in the news. The other day I went by one of their ATMs and I thought to myself, it's like, ooh, I could get some cash out, but it says Wells Fargo on it. They're always having problems. I'm like, nope. Like, nope. Not gonna get me, Wells Fargo. You are not gonna get me. So, anyway. Okay, guys. I don't know why I'm yawning. Anyway, all that running around. You know how it goes. So, again, please do like the video, especially if you were in the chat today. Remember, you do not have to be a subscriber in order to like the video. Okay, until next time, please do manifest wisely. Bye-bye.